Hey, 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 Germaniacs. Welcome to another episode of Audacious Confidence. This show that helps you boost your confidence. And I am so excited to have you here today. I am your host, Alicia Couri, the Red Carpet CEO, and I'm here to influence, educate, inspire, and entertain you with audacious confidence so you can be more, do more, have more, and live the life of your dreams without limits. So we are here today. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you for wishing us a great show. So we're here today to talk about, hi, Oriana, thank you. We are here today to talk about confidence, breaking the gender barrier when it comes to confidence. So if you like that topic, I invite you to share this broadcast out to your friends, to your family, subscribe, and, just tag a friend, tag someone that you think needs to hear about this show, about breaking the gender barrier when it comes to confidence in society. So go ahead and tag a friend, let them know to watch this show with you, start a little watch party with everybody. Hi, Angelita. Thank you for joining us because we want to interact with you. Oh, you're in North Dakota, Angelita. I hope it's getting warmed up over there. I hope you're starting to warm up a little bit. So, like I said earlier, our topic today is breaking the confidence barrier in gender. So far, all our shows have focused on the internal confidence, internally. So today on the Audacious Confidence show, we're focusing on the external. We're focusing on what can influence your comments. And my guest today, Carrie Moore, she and I are going to talk specifically about gender equality in and wages, gender equality and wages, because today is Wage Equality Day. The wage gap is ridiculous. We're in 2019 and it still takes, the reason today, April 2nd, and I know this is going to be repurposed. I know you're probably going to watch this at some other time, but 2019, April 2nd is the day that women have to work until, and not all women, I'm going to break it down for you in a minute, but women have to work up until this day to make the same money that a man did working all of 2018. So a woman has to work all of 2018 plus the entire first quarter of 2019 and a day in order to make the same thing that her male counterpart made. That's not all women. Minorities have to work until May 31st, which is my birthday. They have to work until May 31st to make the same amount. So for 1 year and 5 months to get paid what a man makes in 1 full year. So, I always tell my kids, life isn't fair. When they tell me, oh, that's not fair. I say, well, life isn't fair. Well, this is beyond unfair. We're doing the same work. This is doing the same work. And I'll give you some statistics. So a white female will earn 80 cents on every dollar that a man makes. A black mom will make 54 cents on the dollar. A Latina mom will make 46 cents on the dollar. A Native American mom will make 49 cents on the dollar. Asian American and Pacific Islander moms will make 85 cents on the dollar. And some Asian American subgroups will be paid significantly less, earning like 57 cents on the dollar. So, it's all over the place. But the main focus is, so don't get too caught up in the numbers that I just gave you. The main focus is we're all earning less. It doesn't matter whether it's 80 cents or 46 cents. We're all earning less. And one of the challenges, especially as moms, because those statistics are about moms. So one of the challenges, especially with mothers, is there is sort of this unconscious bias against moms. in the workplace. So not only are you paying less as a woman, but as a mother, you're being paid even less because of this unconscious bias. Do you believe the unconscious bias exists? Thank you, Sev. Thank you so much. And let me tell you what the unconscious bias is. The unconscious bias is that your supervisor or your manager or your boss might see you come in late or might see you leave early and assume that you are going to deal with something with your kids, that it's somehow child related. When you could have been going, say, to Kinko's, to pick up some office supplies, or you could have been going for a business meeting that wasn't specifically on your calendar, but it's a business meeting. So they will automatically assume that you're not there because you're dealing with your kids for some reason. And even if you were dealing with your kids, why does that have to affect what you get paid? That is ridiculous that it has to affect how you get paid. So I know I've raised a lot of questions here. I've raised a lot of food for thought. So it's beyond just being unfair that women are paid anywhere from 46 cents to 80 cents for every dollar that a man makes. It should not be tolerated. It should not be tolerated, because if you're a single mom trying to make it and you're being paid 46 cents on the dollar that a man makes, how are you supposed to survive with childcare and everything else that you need to provide for your children and your family? Which is why there's another statistic that says that there's an 8% of poverty rate among working women, 8% poverty rate. And if they were paid the same thing that the men were paid, that 8% would go to 3.8%. So it will drop significantly. If you're a single mother, it's 28.9% of the poverty rate among single mothers, 28.9%, and 14.5% it will drop to 14 if they were paid the same. So, these statistics are real people, and it affects real families, and it affects children, and it affects our community and our society. So it's not just that it's unfair, it affects our society. But that's not the topic in its entirety. The topic is, how does it affect your confidence? And my guest today, Carrie Moore, that's what we're going to talk about, is how does it really affect your confidence when you know you're being paid less, when you know you're doing the same job and you're bringing home, it doesn't help your family what you're bringing home. So Carrie has been recognized throughout her career for her tenacious drive and belief in the possibility of people, organizations, and communities. She believes that we shouldn't choose business and money over people. It's all inclusive. So I want to share some of the things that Carrie has been involved with. So Carrie is a keynote speaker. She's a TedX speaker. She leads, she provides training and programs in leadership and workshops inside of companies. She also has a program called the Prime Method, which is a 12-week group program. It's a group coaching program. And I'm already getting tongue-tied. It's only 10 minutes into the show. I've already tied myself up. So my name is Alicia Couri. You are watching the Audacious Confidence show. And I would love to bring up my guest right now, the beautiful, the wonderful Carrie Moore, for us to have this discussion about the barrier in gender, breaking the barrier in gender inequality. How does it affect your confidence? Welcome, Carrie.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Hello, Dream Maniac TV.
I feel like I'm talking in a vacuum. So it's always great when someone joins me.
I'm
talking to myself.
here with you, Alicia. I believe in you.
So Carrie, first of all, what do you feel about the wage gap? Tell us, give us your real opinion about the wage gap. I know I've spouted on about it, so let's hear from you for a moment.
Well, one of the things I find interesting in this conversation is people will often talk about, is it real, is it true, or how bad is it?
Right.
And I heard someone share this once on this topic, so I'm going to replicate what they said. Can we just take off the table that we have a problem? I think we know we have a problem. So let's stop talking about how bad it is. It exists. And to your point, the fact that women have to work 3 months or 5 months into the new year to equate to what a man has made the prior year, we have a problem. So why not put the energy into solving the problem inside of companies, businesses, communities, but more importantly, to yourself, let's start owning our value. Because when we own our value, we change the equation.
That is so true. That is so true. I love that. So owning your value.
Yes.
And that again comes with that inner work of building that confidence on the inside.
Yes.
Right. And so how do you see when someone doesn't value themselves? How do you see that show up as a coach?
We'll see it in our physicality, so how we carry ourselves. So a Chanel dress is never going to cover up insecurity.
Yeah.
We have to know that. We wear our clothes. Don't think your clothes wear you. And I think we as women in different segments, we're taught what we wear can compensate. I also think that no matter where you are and how you feel connected to your own inner or outer beauty, physical beauty doesn't also compensate. No, it doesn't.
That is true.
We've all seen beautiful women who don't believe in themselves, and we've seen women who wouldn't necessarily consider themselves, okay, I should be on a runway, maybe I'm not tall enough, whatever the enough is, and they carry themselves with such genuineness, and that's value.
Yeah, like I was one of those women that did not believe I was enough of anything and did not carry myself like that. I was that woman that you talked about.
Yes.
So I saw Angelina. Yeah, I was. And which is why this show is so important to me, because I know what that feels like. I know I've been there. A lot of people look at me now and say, there's no way you had confidence issues or value issues. Yes, I did. And I struggled with it for years until I realized that that's what I was struggling with. Yeah. So I totally get it. So I want to ask the audience watching, are you accepting less than what you're worth, less than your value is? We're gonna put up a poll. Carrie, do you wanna tell them what the poll is? But I want you to think about, are you really truly accepting less than you are worth? So let that sink in for a second.
Yes. Yeah. And I think what we talk about here is that we understand you can't go into office tomorrow and say, I quit, you're not paying me.
Or demand more money immediately. You can't just go and demand, hey,
yes,
I want, a $50,000 a year raise.
Yes, yes. However, those of us who've sat inside of it for 5, 10, 15 years and say, this is the reality, this is where we're making a mistake, right? This is where we're agreeing with something that isn't true, but we're wearing it and we're carrying it as though that's our value. So we have to change that.
Yeah, we do. We do. And the point that you made about wearing, Chanel. Oh, thank you, Corinda. Thank you so much. Yes, the poll is live. We have a poll going on live. But if you can answer the poll question, But what you wear, because I did fashion styling. I helped women dress. I helped people feel more confident in what they're wearing. But you can still sense that it did not bring value to them.
Right.
Yes, they knew they looked good. They knew they could look good, but they still have that thing that's missing. And yes, so there is a lot of inner work that needs to be done. And coaching is one of those ways that you can get those things done. So the poll question that we have is, do you believe you're worth your dream salary? So yes, that's Carrie's poll question for you today. So think of your dream salary. What would you like to be paid annually, monthly, weekly? There's that, what is it? Publishers Clearinghouse that tells you you could make $5,000 a week. You could win $5,000 a week. Is that your dream salary? Now, aside from Publishers Clearinghouse coming knocking on your door, to give you that $5,000 a week, how do you see yourself earning $5,000 a week? And if you do see yourself earning that, how does that make you feel? Mm-hmm. How does that make you feel? Carrie, you want to comment on that?
Yes, well, I think we have to move from here and how we think about it. We're all going around thinking about the pay raise. And here's something that happens. Once you find out from a colleague, male or female, that and someone who's doing equal to the work that you're doing, and you can say, I can even profile experience, and we're on par. And you find out they're making $25,000 more than your base. We now walk around gnawing on that number.
Yes.
Instead of, we never say it out loud. I'm worth, and this is one of the coaching elements that I do, Alicia, is I ask someone, okay, think of your dream salary. Can you say it out loud and own it? Not like a question, not like $25,000 more. You know what I'm saying? Or can I just say, no, I know that I'm worth equal to, if not more, than that $25,000. And see how we own the energy of our language?
Yes.
Our language is us.
Right. Absolutely. I just want to say hi, Holly. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us from Melbourne, Australia. Thank you to Sebastian. Thank you, Holly, live from Virginia. And again, I wanted to let you know that if you're watching other than Dramaniac TV, I love that you're tuning in on other pages. We have a huge audience all over Facebook. I am your host, Alicia Couri. This is the Audacious Confidence Show. And my guest today is Carrie Moore. And we're talking about gender equality and how that affects your confidence. Especially today is a very important day. It is it is equal pay. All these things are going on in my head. Equal pay day. Equal pay day. So we're going to just shift just for a moment, because there are things that I want to talk about, how to start making those shifts, not only in yourself, because you said, let's stop talking about it and let's actually do something about it. So I want to talk about steps. Oh, thank you. Yes. I'm trying to make sure it all stays, Holly. My hair looks beautiful. I'm trying to make sure it all stays in frame because it's a little... Thank you, Holly. Hi, Seb. Thank you for joining us, because you are a culture catalyst. So we want to make transformation. We want to make change. We don't want you to just sit and listen to this and say, oh, yeah, that's so unfair. We want you to be able to step up and do something. So we want to give you some tools to do that. But I wanted to shift just for a tiny bit to ask, what is your experience as a culture catalyst? What does that mean?
Well, first, I think it means I love people. And I've been blessed with the opportunity to do a lot of travel. And now at this stage, because of business and personal, I've traveled to more than 40 countries.
Nice.
So, but I also know since the time that I was a kid, I was always fascinated with where another country was, how it came together. Mm-hmm. When I travel, I want to go where the locals are. Sure, all the tourist things. We all want to see the Eiffel Tower. We also want to hang out at the really cool jazz club with the local Parisians and blend in. So I have a deep appreciation for how beautiful the world is through the eyes of how people are, how they live. What I realized in that process was, even though no matter where you travel and where you go, people at the heart and soul, we're the same. We really are. We're looking for those things. So at the most base level, being a culture catalyst is a love and a belief around that, humanity. But more importantly, as being a culture catalyst, a catalyst is someone who sees something in advance and wants to create the change.
Right. You want to spark the change.
There you go. Yes.
I love, because it requires a certain amount of tenacity to stand up, see something, and want to make a change and want to make a difference, and to be that spark to make. Thank you, Sev. You're such a gift, Carrie. Yes. She is. I love what you say about travel. I was blessed to have the opportunity as a child to travel and grow up in a completely different culture than my own. And so that opened me up to a whole new world, because I was born in Trinidad, but I grew up in Australia. And so having that experience of traveling through several countries to get there, because that was a long time ago, now they have flights that take you direct and or at least one stop or something. We had like bounce all over the place just to get there. It was a 2-day journey to get where we were to Australia. And having that exposure was wonderful, because I'm like you, I love people and I love to meet people from different areas, get to know them, get to know their culture, because it just enriches your life so much.
Yes.
It truly, truly does. And so tell me, what was your experience? Have you done the TEDx already? I think I saw. Yes, I did see your TEDx.
Yeah.
How was that experience? Yes, Holly, Australia's on your bucket list. Yay! We're going to go visit Sebastian. We'll go visit Sebastian in Melbourne.
Go have a walkabout.
And go for a walkabout. Yes. Yes. Yeah. So how was that experience being on the TEDx stage?
It's a lot of work that leads up to that day. And so for me, that was 5 or 6 months of planning and prepping. And there's a very defined culture for the TEDx community. So what you don't see behind the scenes is they encourage people to constantly be moving seats between breaks. Yeah. So they section the speakers. And when you have breaks, they want you to go outside, meet people, engage, and share your thoughts around the ideas that are on stage. So first of all, I had no idea, because all I knew, I was an absolute TEDx groupie, or a TED, like I eat it, but I had no idea what was happening. So I was fascinated by that. But the prep for walking on stage, realizing I needed to speak for 15 minutes with no cards or prompts or things like that, you really have to sink into, what do I believe in?
Right.
And I had to own that at a whole new level of standing up and saying, this is something that I believe is fundamental as a message. The theme when I spoke was, it's time. And so I selected a topic around that. They want you to give yourself. And so I'm in a huge auditorium with 300 or 400 people, and it becomes this micro red dot. Yeah. My vulnerability in the palm of my hand.
That's when it gets real.
I had to own my own stuff. You know what I mean? It's like, wow, I have to really live this right now.
Yep. It's getting real. It's getting hot up in here. Yes, you were on the same stage as another guest on Dramaniac TV, Cindy Constable. Yeah, you spoke at Ocala.
Yes.
TEDx Ocala. Yeah, so great. And it's so funny that we were introduced because of TEDx Ocala, reintroduced, I say, because we had known each other before.
Yes.
and a mutual friend said, we need, and it wasn't Sebastian, no, but a mutual friend said that we should meet. And then when we did meet, we're like, oh, I know you. We met before. And so that was really funny. It's such a small world.
In 2016.
In 2016 in Arizona.
But we both made a very strong impression on each other, I believe, when we met. And I think that's the power of being confident about who you are. People remember you.
Remember you. Absolutely.
When you were talking and your brand, I'm a visual person. So I remember when we were talking and I was like, I know this person. And I really thought of your brand. And then when I started connecting the dots, I remembered
my card. You remember my business card. You remember the A.
You carried yourself. Actually, I remember because we were at a conference. We were at Angelique Brewer's conference. And I remember how you carried yourself when we met. And I was still in corporate life. I was just a few weeks away from quitting my position to start my business. So
I remember that. Yeah.
Cross points.
That's awesome. So you are watching the Audacious Confidence Show. I'm your host, Alicia Couri. Yes, Cece. Cece is a TedX speaker as well. And she says the red dot isn't that big once you're standing on it. I know it seems huge, but then when you get there, it just all goes, whoa. It's like you're standing on a pebble. Count you in, Holly. Absolutely. Always. And I believe that comment was to come to Australia together. Yes, we have to plan a trip to Aussie down under. We all have to go down under. So I would like to welcome back my guest, Carrie, to the show. Her hashtag, if you would like to hashtag and comment, hashtag courage to lead. Hashtag for Carrie is courage to lead. And you can connect with Carrie on all social media. It's Carrie Moore 226. So go to Carrie Moore 226 to connect with Carrie. I see that you have a special, if they go and connect with you, there is a social media challenge. Is that correct?
Yes. Courage to lead. So in this idea of audacious confidence and what it means around, especially whether it is equal pay, sometimes it's about just having the conversation. So maybe it first starts with yourself. Then it starts with going to work and saying to your boss, I want to get on your calendar. I want to sit down and talk about that thing around how you feel, whether it is title, pay, compensation, opportunity. I talk about investing in sponsorship. So first we have to sponsor ourselves, go to work, sponsor ourselves at work. So what I love to hear, if people will tell me, where did you actually take that chance? Like just say, you know what? I wrote the email. I stopped by the person's office. I made the request. But it really is somewhere from 5 to 20 seconds. And we change our lives. We do.
Wow, that is so true. Hey, Cece, live from Miramar, Florida. Thank you. Once we come to Australia, we're going to just stay. I know, Sebastian, I know. Mm-hmm. I need to get back there. So I love that 3 to 5 seconds can really change your life. It really, really can. You know, when you hit send on that email with your finger shaking, you know, you're taking the courage to lead yourself. Mm-hmm. When you step and you knock on the door to your supervisor or your boss, or you go to their cubicle, you're taking the courage to lead yourself.
Yes.
You know, any step you take in that direction, you're taking the courage to lead yourself. I want to just say something else about that too, because a lot of times when we have the opportunity to step up, we shrink. Yes. And not because we're bad people or, you know, we just feel like the opportunity passed us by, or I should have said something then, or, you know, it's too late to do anything about it. And I believe that it's never too late. Right. It's never too late to pick back up the ball. Yes. I had a coach once say that when the ball dropped, the team that wins the game is the one that picks up the most drop balls. It's not necessarily the team that takes the most shots, but the one that picks up the most drop balls.
Yes.
And so if you drop the ball and you're kicking yourself all the way home, I shoulda, I coulda, I had the opportunity to, there is tomorrow.
Yes.
You can even go home and write the email. Say, you know, when I was in your office today, there was something I wanted to say. Can I have another opportunity tomorrow? There is always another opportunity. You just have to pick that ball back up.
Correct.
So have the courage to pick back up the ball and then take it.
And if I can say something on that, a really powerful thought. Fear has a voice. So we cannot eliminate fear. We all have it.
Yeah.
So the key thing is, don't let fear take the vote.
Yes.
It speaks, but don't let it own you. Because when we actually get right on the other side of that energy of fear, everything opens up.
Yes.
It does. And it doesn't mean we all figure it out. It doesn't mean, everything is perfect. But it means we actually shifted our own perspective of what is possible. And you and I have talked about this offline. When we actually shift what is possible in perspective, things start happening.
Yes. Yes. Because perception is reality.
Yes.
But you can shift your perception and create a new reality. So Holly says, life really begins out of your comfort zone. Never shrink away, always grow. It's so true. So if you have shrunk in the past, I use fear to push me forward, not hold me down. Yay, Sebastian. So if you have shrunk in the past or missed the opportunity, this is your little nudge. We're giving you a little baby push, or maybe we'll just shove you into the pool. However you want to look at it. We'll either be giving you a little nudge forward, a little reminder that, yes, this is my time. This is my chance. This is my opportunity. I'm going to make a difference. And your difference creates a ripple effect.
Yes.
Don't believe that it doesn't do anything, or don't believe that it's just me. I'm just, this little person. What can I do? Or it's just going to affect me and my family. It creates a ripple effect, because just consider for a moment what a pay increase means to your family,
Yes.
to your children, to others working with you, other women standing shoulder to shoulder with you, see you step up and get rewarded for it. Then what happens? You give them the courage to step up, and so there are ripple effects that can be created from this. But don't just, like she said, don't just jump in and say, I need a raise, You have to really consider. And I would really advise you to get in touch with Carrie. We have an opportunity coming up. If you can stay with us to the end of the show, we have an opportunity that I wanted to make sure I gave you this offer, so that you can have this conversation and really know what next steps you need to take in order to do that. So Sebastian, you said Holly rocks. That's great. Yes, Holly does rock. She's amazing. And so just really quickly, I wanted to get back to that conversation. I always have all these pieces of paper everywhere because I have all my notes. Sure. Listen, I'm not this smart, I'm not. I don't always got it all together. I got my notes because I need to know, all this stuff that's going on. So again, you don't always have to have it all together and look like you're always perfect, all the time doing everything. So if you're just tuning in, where have you been? I mean, we've been having this wonderful conversation for the last 40 minutes. Where have you been? But if you're just tuning in, I'm your host, Alicia Couri, and you're watching Audacious Confidence with my guest, Carrie Moore. What are we talking about, Carrie?
We're talking about confidence. I guess let me share one other thing to simplify it, because sometimes we get hung up in this long-standing concept of what we can or cannot do, or what we can or cannot say.
Yeah.
Sometimes, you get a bad performance review and you spend the next 3 years living inside the label of and it's awful now because it's inside these systems, these computer systems.
Yes.
And you when your boss sends you the performance review and you open up the document and you're like, oh, we walk around the next 3 years that I don't do the following. We always look for the negative. And what I encourage people to realize that we just have a habit of being a certain way. We can change it.
Mm-hmm.
So I choose to spend the next 3 years replaying in my mind one sentence and an entire performance review document, or I can just say, you know what? Confidence is a skill, and it's a life skill.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to brush that off, right?
That's right.
Can you do that with me? Let's just brush it off.
Brush it off. And Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you do better.
Yes.
So if you had let's say you had a couple things in your performance review that you didn't like, or your report card, or whatever it is, you have the opportunity to make that change. You have an opportunity, instead of allowing that to diminish your confidence, instead of allowing it, you have the power not to allow it to affect your confidence. And don't be, like, oh, what do they know? Let him try to do my job. Don't get an attitude about it, but be confident in your ability to do things and say, you know what, maybe he's or she is seeing this from a perspective that I haven't looked at. Maybe let me ask a question. Mm-hmm. I always tell my kids, don't be afraid to ask a question. Maybe I should ask a question. What did you see in me that made you say this? How can I, in your perspective, how can I change this? Mm-hmm. And if it's something, maybe they had a misunderstanding. Again, perceptions are different. So maybe they had a misunderstanding of what you were doing. When I do corporate consulting with Colby, a lot of the times it's that this is my innate strength. This is my innate talents. This is how I do things. And maybe they want you to do things a certain way. And because you're not doing it the way they want it done, there's that miscommunication and that misperception. But it's not that you were doing it wrong. You were still getting the results. They just wanted you to do it a specific way. But maybe you can come together with that communication and say, so if I'm getting the job done and it's effective, what is the challenge? Because I didn't do it your way, there seems to be a problem. So open up those lines of communication too, and don't allow your confidence to be shut down, instead of saying, being empowered by something and saying, how can I learn from this? How can I grow from this? There are a multitude of ways that you can take a bad performance review and make it into something positive.
Absolutely, because as long as we're owning our happiness and we're trusting that, then when we do get feedback, and let's say you partner it with another theme, invest in sponsorship. So to the person that gives you feedback, say, thank you. Now you're just the person who can help me get there.
Exactly. Why don't you mentor me now to help me get to where I need to go?
Yes.
So there are a lot of different ways that you can do that. So I saw a comment from August. Sorry, I was, hey, boss lady, live from Melbourne. Thank you, August. Thank you so much. So that's one of our team members here on Germaniac. So what are some of the things that you believe, because I have a list from some research that I did, what are some of the things that you believe, other than really standing up for yourself, that can help narrow or eliminate the gap? Because like we said earlier, it's not just about talking about it. We know the problem is here. What are some of the things that you believe can do that?
All right. Well, I think individually, I think you've got to make a decision around your position. Educate yourself. What should the pay be? And there's a lot of sources out there. K-Force, there's so many. Just Google what your title, your role is, where you live, and you can get a range. You can get a demographic of what you should be paid based upon experience and other things. Use that as a guide. in terms of conversations. Then role play. One of the things that I offer in my workshops is the opportunity to actually, and if you don't have someone like me in your life, then, you know, someone who loves you, role play. And maybe Alicia offline, but have the conversation where you say, you know what, I've noticed that my salary is here, yet the market is here, or in the company it's this. And I'd like to talk about how do I get there? So we've got to begin to have the conversations. So we move beyond the conversation, but you have to have a sense of your value. So,
that's first.
Yes,
Absolutely.
So know what you're offering. Know where you are against your deliverables. Know your experience. Like you and I know, we know how long we've worked. We know what languages we can speak or not speak. Like you've got to have your own value board.
Yeah.
What you bring to the table. Expecting your boss to sit there and say, Alicia, you're amazing. You know, here are all these things that, you know, what can I do now to adjust your pay?
Right. That's never going to happen.
Yeah. But then the last piece is empathy. We sometimes forget that the manager we have, their hands are tied. And so I liken role play to show people your leader, your current boss, if they could write the check, they would. So something's going on above them. And that's where you've got to make some decisions. If this isn't going to change, get your resume together and start looking out in the world.
Yeah.
Because you can get a better job. You can get paid better.
Yes. It's absolutely true. So a couple of the things that when I was doing some research, and I love what you said about owning your own value, because part of Colby Consulting is helping people understand what they really bring to the table. Yeah. And so do some assessment. Don't wait for your company to send you assessments to do. Learn about yourself.
Yes.
Learn your talents and your skills. Learn what your strengths are. Know what you bring to the table. You know, I love taking assessments and getting to know, you know, really what skills I have. And not just knowing, because you know your skills, but being able, hey, Santosh, thank you so much. You were on the wrong page. Oh, thank you for coming to Germaniac TV and watching us live in India. Thank you so much. But, you know, sometimes when you take the assessments, it gives you the right languaging to say what your value is. Because you might say, well, I'm a people person. Well, what the heck does that mean? You know, I'm people, so I'm a people person too. You know? I'm a people. So what does that mean? Yeah. So understanding the language that you need to use to be able to articulate what your value is so important. So don't forget to participate in our poll, ladies and gentlemen. We have a poll up. Say yes or no to that poll about valuing yourself. And so a couple of the things that I wanted to highlight real quick before we have to wrap up, because this time is just going by so fast. These tips that I got on how to make a change. You see how I'm talking with my hands? We talked about this, right? I can't get away from it. So one is evaluate your company. Like you said, do some search, do a Google search, find out what your company is worth even. Like what are you doing that brings value to the company that increases their bottom line? That's always a great way to approach something too. So, you know, my department, what I do, we helped design whatever, and this brought your company to this by the end of the year. So, you know, you have value in the company. So evaluate your company, understand what your value is in the company. Advocate for women, all women. Encourage others to participate in whatever movement that you're a part of. Vote, you know, find out which politicians in your area are actually on that platform and vote. Discuss salary and compensation with your peers. You know, a lot of times these things are frowned upon in corporate. But if you have a close friend, if you have peers, discuss your salaries and see where you are. If there is a real big gap in your salaries doing the same job. And advocate for better parental benefits in your company. Advocate for parental benefits. You create a ripple effect in your company. And then the last one is talk to your daughters, men, talk to your girls, let them know that what their value is, so that when they start getting into the workforce, they're not afraid to step up and ask something. Have facts. August says, have facts and figures and be bold. That's why it's audacious confidence. Here. Real men want women to stand shoulder to shoulder on all fronts. Thank you, August. Yes, yes, yes. It's so true. So, Carrie, let's get down to how people can work with you, how they can get in touch with you, and how you can help them.
Yes. Well, you can catch me on my website is carriemoore.com. You can find me on LinkedIn. What I'm offering to you guys in terms of an opportunity is to connect and look for an opportunity to have a clarity call. Clarity call is a career path coaching call. And because of being on a guest, I'm offering to this community to come to my page. We've got a link. You can find it actually under my link to calendly.com. Can we post that somewhere maybe after?
We're going to link it from germaniac.com/Carrie.
Okay.
So when they go to germaniac.com/Carrie, it's going to be your Calendly link is going to be there for them to click on it.
Thank you. Thank you. You're the pro here on that. So thank you. I'm like, how do I type this into this little window?
No, they just need to go to germaniac.com/Carrie, and you can get that free clarity call that she's offering here exclusively to the Germaniac TV community. Yeah. So our audience can have that call with Carrie, and that way you can figure out, start asking yourselves the right questions about what are you worth? How do I get to that place where I can go and really talk to my boss? And it can help you in a multitude of ways. Don't just think this is just about gender equality or equal pay. A clarity call could be, should I stay in the job that I'm in, or I want to move on to something else, So it's just to be clear, just to get clear on where you are and where you need to go. Yes, Sebastian, talk to your sons too. We're not going to be biased here. We're not going to be gender biased. Talk to your daughters and your sons about this important topic. And so I want to thank Carrie so much for joining me. Any last words, Carrie, that you would like to extend to us?
Yes, I will. I just want to really encourage people to own your happiness. We often remember that old expression, waiting for your ship to come in. Yeah. What I like to tell people is, you're the ship. You're the sail. Like, be it. Like, own it.
Be the ship.
Yeah, exactly.
Be the ship.
Seriously, we want to have fun because we've both been in corporate life, so we know this is really wonderful to be able to be real
and laugh.
Yeah, trust your instincts, because we both are disciples of Colby, but really showing people how amazing they are. And you have got so much to give inside of a company, man or woman. I work with both, and I love the dynamics. But honestly, companies who create cultures where we have a high sense of self, and we allocate that inside of these whole self environments, this is how we create impact. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I love that. And so we have a couple more shows that we are inviting Carrie to be on, because she is a wonderful guest. So we would love to have you back. And I know our audience who was here with us, joining us, would also love to hear more about, being a culture catalyst. How can they be a catalyst? And how can we all lock arms and make change and make a difference? And so thank you so much, Carrie, for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here on Audacious Confidence Show. We are here on Germaniac TV, and we broadcast off of our preferred live streaming partners, BeLive.tv. So thank you so much to BeLive.tv, and thank you all for joining us here on Audacious Confidence is we are your complete live stream solutions here on Germaniac TV. Just go to germaniac.com/pricing, where you can find out all the details on all the packages that we have to offer anyone who'd like to have their own show, or just promote a product or service using live streaming, using our live streaming TV here service. Here on Germaniac TV, we love to say that you dream big and we make it happen, because that's what we're all about here. And we love that you've joined us. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. Please like us, subscribe to Germaniac TV, and we'll see you the next time. We'll be back here next Tuesday at 6 p.m. with another fantastic topic and fantastic guests. So see you then. Mwah. Bye, everybody.